They are not ready for this. If part 2 takes Enid away, it won't be random. The signs have been there in small moments, in careful lines, and in the way the story pushes Wednesday to choose. Tonight, we put all the pieces on the table and ask a hard question: is Enid being set up as the cost of Wednesday's growth? Enid's story matters because she is the heart that Wednesday pretends she does not need. From the start, Enid stood for color, warmth, and loyalty. She pushed through fear to find her wolf form when it mattered most. She stood in front of danger so Wednesday could move forward. She turned a cold room into a home and a closed-off girl into a friend. That is why the stakes feel so high now. Part 2 cannot just give us more puzzles and call it a day. It needs a real change that sticks. And the hardest change is not a new monster or a big fight. The hardest change is breaking the one bond that makes Wednesday human. If you think about how this show likes to twist the knife with a smile, Enid is the perfect point of pain. She is the one loss that would shake every line of the story. It would not just make Wednesday angry, it would make her different. Let's build the base before we go deeper. First, remember Enid's arc. She began as the girl who could not wolf out. She felt like a not yet in a world that expects now. When she finally changed, it was not just a cool power moment, it was a choice. She chose to face fear, for someone else. That choice is why the audience trusts her. She is not brave for show, she is brave for love. Second, think about Wednesday. She hates to admit feelings, she acts like she can do it all alone. But when Enid hugs her, she does not push her away forever. She allows it, bit by bit. This slow, careful shift is the true center of the series. So if the writers want to raise the stakes, they will hit this center, not the edges. Now think about the world around them. The tone is darker. The rules feel stricter. Mistakes have weight. This is the kind of story where a win often comes with a price. The school is not just a backdrop, it is a pressure cooker. The outcasts want safety, but safety always breaks. When secrets come out, power attracts hunters. Hunters draw blood. If part 2 follows that path, a safe ending is not honest. A safe ending says, fear has no cost. This show has never said that. It tells us that every clue hides a wound, and every joke hides a truth. So the end of part 2 needs something that changes how we look at the halls of Nevermore, how we hear the word pack, and how we watch Wednesday walk. Why Enid, though? Because removing her is not just shock. It is structure. Enid's bond ties together many lines. It softens Wednesday so she can work with others. It gives Bianca a reason to measure her edge against kindness. It pulls Tyler's shadow out into the open, because Enid stands between the monster and the girl he wants to hurt. Take Enid out, and every arc jumps. Wednesday loses her guardrails and could swing toward rage or painful honesty. Bianca might step up as a leader, not a rival. The school could stop fighting in corners and finally unite. Even the main threat would feel bigger, because it would not be a case, it would be a war with a face. But is this too much? Maybe. Enid is a fan favorite. People love her light, her style, her goofy joy. The show sells that joy on posters, in clips, in meetings. Killing that joy is a risk. So ask this, does the show want shock, or does it want growth? It can want both. A loss like this is not only a twist, it is a lever. It moves the lead from clever to changed. It makes every smile we saw before feel like a warning. It is the kind of move you make when you plan for a long game, not a short one. If the writers choose it, they must earn it. That means clear signs, clean cause, and real fallout. No cheap trick. No fast fix. There is another layer, too. Stories like this often follow a rule: the protector pays. The friend who steps in front, who says go, I'll hold them, writes their name on the bill. Enid has worn that role more than once. She takes danger into her arms so Wednesday can think. If part 2 pushes to a final stand, who buys time? Who bleeds so the plan can work? We know the answer the story prefers, even if we hate it. And if that answer hits Enid, the cost will echo. Wednesday will have to say out loud what she has not wanted to admit. She needed her. She loved her in her own strange way. And she did not say it in time. Still, there are softer paths, a death that is really a curse. A strike that takes her but leaves a way back, with a price. A wound that changes her wolf, makes it darker, harder to control. These moves keep the stakes high without closing the door. But each of them still does the same thing to Wednesday. It forces her to feel. It strips away the mask of the loner, who needs no one. It turns the case into a cause. Asterisk, so here we are. At the edge of part 2, we have a hero who fears her heart more than any monster. We have a friend who stands in the doorway with open arms. We have a school that pretends to be safe and never is. If the writers want to leave a mark we will talk about for months, they will not just swing a sword, they will take away a light. And the brightest light is Enid. If she falls, the show we return to will not be the same. If she lives, she will not be the same either. That is the point of real stakes. They do not let anyone walk away clean. They change the way Wednesday looks at every clue after this night. They change the way we look at Wednesday. And that is why this theory is not just shock value. It is a map of what hurts enough to matter. Asterisk.